respect, but thoroughly glad he's here. Mr. Andy Sheets, and he's going to start. And he's going to tell us a story that I personally have not heard of. I've not heard about any of this, and many of you may not have heard it either. So it may be new to you, but Andy, go ahead and tell us who you are and give us a little bit about your background, and then exactly what happened.
All right. So the reason why I'm here is because I like people that do try to fight for freedom. And I've been watching what they've been doing to you guys for years. I sadly haven't got to make it in any of the events yet. It looks like it was fun and not fun. But my name is Andrew Sheets. I'm a reporter for, I call it Charlotte County Copwatch. 10 years ago, I sadly experienced corruption with my government. And I found out at that time that there's a neat thing that some people know about here, which is a good thing. The Florida Sunshine Law. Does anybody know what that is?
Yep.
That's right. You have the right to pull records, and I absolutely recommend you guys need to start pulling records on what they're doing and saying about you.
You can request all those already.
That's right. Start pulling records. I would even pull records, I'm sure you guys have too, through the years of all the crap that they're doing to you guys for the monuments. So that's what I started to do. I was on Facebook, I was on YouTube, TikTok, all the stuff, and apparently, I was doing stories on corrupt government, corrupt police, sheriff, whatever. It doesn't FBI. Apparently, they don't like that. And for a while there, everything was going great. I was up to 200 million views total, 70 million subscribers. But all of a sudden, I started getting banged and hit, and they make complaints on your stuff. And if they make enough complaints, they get you taken down. And all that's gone. I literally tell people, that I've been Alex Jones. Does anybody know what Alex Jones? You know how they erased him? They erased Andy, okay?
You got Gary Snowed.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So here's what's interesting. We literally have the documents. They taught the city of Punta Gorda and Charlotte County, and in the end, they loved it so much, they taught the whole damn state to crucify people like me that are alternative media, because I'm not with Wink News, NBC, and all that stuff, and to strike us down. We literally have the documents, dude. That's how out of control this is. Like I said, like they're telling you, I had no idea I was going to be here today to talk about this today, but we had talked, and he agrees. There's a lot of stuff that relates here that happened. So because that happened, I was taken offline so much that my last thing that I could think of to do, and I had no idea this was going to happen. I'm 58, okay? I had no idea I was going to turn into an activist on the street, on a sidewalk, which is supposed to be the ultimate public forum, correct? The ultimate public forum. And just because I've been out there for the past couple of years, 3 or 4 years, doing a public forum on a street, letting people know about different topics, I was crucified. I like what they were saying. They literally are trying to put him on a cross. We were talking about that with the pastor over here, okay? And that's what they tried to do to me. To the point where a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, literally the city of Punta Gorda banned free speech. Not a joke. Literally banned free speech. And it was any word that they didn't like. We made a records request. Which word didn't you like? We won't tell you. So
It was that body flag. That was the final straw.
there you go. She knows the story. So that is
I've watched
me.
your fight for years because you and I have gone back and forth when my daughter was assaulted over the bullying, the corruption in Lee County. That was me.
Oh, there you go. See, didn't even know. There you go. Didn't even know. So
We've
yes.
talked many times over the years.
All right, there you go. So that is me. So yes, it started because of the Biden flag. Unbelievable. So they banned free speech. So what they did is they said, okay, if a kid sees it, it might ruin his mind. So I know,
On the
right?
bathroom wall.
So the first one is you get a warning. Second one is you get a $100 fine. Second one is you get a $200 fine. This is what we did not know. We went to one of these, it wasn't real court. It's something like you're happening. It's a fake kangaroo court. That's what I call it. It's 7 people that aren't even lawyers that are your judge and jury in this thing. And guess, you know what they told me too? Same thing. Constitution does not exist here. They literally said it on video.
By God, it does in the USA.
I'm dead serious. It's all on video. They did it. They said it. It was unbelievable what happened. So here's what we didn't know. In the statute, we did not know if you violated ordinance that if you do irreparable harm. So I did irreparable harm because some kids saw F. Biden, and they can bump the fine up to $5,000. So luckily, I didn't get $5,000 per ticket, but they did. On my first ticket, I got 8 tickets. And then the lawyers finally said, you got to start redacting yourself because this isn't enough tickets.
Tear them up?
No, I didn't tear them. I put tape over it. And for a while, they weren't busting me, but then they said my tape, you could see through it, and they gave me another ticket, so then I had to do really good tape. But anyways, whatever. So here we are. I got 8 tickets the first time, and I ended up getting Rutherford Institute for a law firm. They're out of Washington, D.C., and they said if you find a lawyer down here, which luckily we found one, Ferris Heindel, out of I highly recommend it. You should look into him. You should. I'll get you information. And he was representation for Rutherford Institute. So he was there at the Kangaroo Court. You know, they tried to get me $5,000 fine. Everybody's in shock. They're like, wow, they brought the first ticket down to $1,000. Then the other ticket's $500. I literally had liens on my house for free speech. Liens. So then I thought, okay, there's got to be a way around this, the Biden flag thing. Maybe I can do videos and or lasers on the side of buildings. I don't know if you saw that one.
I saw it.
All right, so I did that. I literally got a projector, and hooked it up into the car. I'd park the car next to a wall and I'd do a video, and because it's not a sign, it's not permanent. And then I found out that the laser. Oh, the laser.
They say it's there, and by the time somebody gets there, it's gone.
Oh, the laser is so awesome. I recommend everybody get a laser. It's so much fun. Anyway, so these are disco lasers you can program to say whatever you want, right? So I was in a loop. At that point, I just wanted to offend everybody, okay? And I didn't want to, put an X mark over the U on the F word. So, I mean, it was in a loop. I offended everyone. I shined it on the Charlotte County Harbor Event Center. That's next to 41, next to the water, next to a bar. All the people are walking by, and I shined it on the Harbor Event Center. It's like 20 feet by 20 feet high. It was insane. So, people are like, what is going on? I said, I'm fighting the ban on free speech. And sure enough, the cop comes up. That's illegal too. And I got my last ticket, 8th ticket. I'm serious, you got to get a laser. Lasers are awesome, man. There. So anyways, we got the lasers, and at that point, Rutherford's busy with, so they're appealing the tickets. They're in state court appealing that. So then I got another lawyer for the 8th ticket for the laser, a lawyer out of Florida and here, and so we went straight to federal court. So that one, with the Rutherford and State Court, who won the appeal, of course, because it's free speech. And then the federal court, that one folded. They settled out because we won the state case. But because I sued them twice, they have to get me back, right? How dare you fight us for free speech? I did free speech, and this is how I can't believe this all relates to each other. He just heard this story. I did free speech in front of a school on a public sidewalk, okay? And it relates to what I was talking to him. One of my protests was, I did all different topics, that the schools are like prisons and indoctrination camps. I'm from Michigan. I was in the 80s. I'm not saying everybody should do that, but I smoked pot, speeders, acid, all that. It was fucking awesome. In the 80s, high school was awesome. And you older people had even more fun than me, okay? I know it. So you guys, seriously, let's be serious here for a second. 58 and older, did we not have way more freedom than what we have now? Less government, less police, less taxes, correct?
No freedom nowadays.
What has happened to America? Our founding fathers, we were talking about this. I literally would tell people, because I literally had to wear cameras, body cameras, because I was assaulted so many times. By the way, did the cops ever do anything to any of them?
No.
No. Nothing. literally was hit with bottles. I mean, it was crazy. So free speech, it's gone. It is unbelievable.
And civil discourse.
Yes, correct. Oh, that's what I would tell people. So people tell me, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, it's way better than what our founding fathers did, which is kill the redcoat British police for freedom. I'm not saying we should do that, but I'm saying my free speech is way better than killing a cop, okay? And again, you know, and I know we need police, but our founding fathers did not fight for a police state, okay? And that's sadly what we have right now. You look at what they just did to Trump. Like after Trump's speech, after getting charged for 35 different things, which they didn't even say what really were, like they said after that, if you're the tip of the spear, there's 300,000 laws on the books in our country, local, state, and federal. It's outrageous. There's a book written by Dershowitz, 3 felonies a day. All of you sitting here right now are committing a felony. You don't even know it. Just sitting there. Because our government's that out of control. So, just because I did that protest in front of the school, they turned free speech into a crime. We have the email. That's why everybody here, if you can, everybody needs to fight and pull records. I mean, you really do. We have the email. The city clerk talked to the Punta Gorda Police. The Punta Gorda Police talked to the state attorney. And they said, how do we stop this? And they said, if we find enough people to complain, we'll turn it into a crime. And they did. They didn't take me to jail that day, but later they took me to jail. 30 days in jail for free speech on the sidewalk. This is only 10 months ago. 10 months. And like I just told the pastor, whoever's a believer here, keep saying a prayer. I'm still in court. They're still trying to mess with me. Again. It is literally like we were talking about. They literally want to put me on a cross and crucify me like Jesus Christ for free speech. Just for waking people up to topics, like you said. I told him one of the topics, I'm not going to say it here in front of everybody, I did a very controversial topic.
I know what you did.
Let's not mention it here. Let's not piss off everybody. Do you know what you don't know? And I told him, they vandalized my car that day.
I heard.
I have a white Toyota. Are you from Punta Gorda?
I got friends up there too.
All right. Then you already know the story. All right. And they took 2 tires right in the sidewalk. 2 freaking tires gone. Just for that. Okay, do you think I should tell him what I did on that one?
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, no.
I am going to say, especially since we're sitting here next to a Jewish man, because even he was like, holy shit. So anyways, I am not a Nazi, but I am a libertarian conservative constitutionalist, okay? I believe we need to get back to our Constitution. I mean, look what they did to the South. You guys wanted to secede, and they freaking crushed you. What a bunch of crap, okay? So, in my opinion, this is what I told one of my other protests in front of the school was, and I dressed up like a brown shirt Nazi. I had the brown shirt, I had the shorts, I had the long socks, brown shoes. It was insane. And then it was hard to find, believe it or not. It was hard to find. I did get a flag from blue or red flag from Hitler. Okay, it had the Nazi flag, and below that I put the blue line flag because I told the people, I said, what is the difference today? That is why they made that red flag in Nazi Germany, because they wanted them to worship it, right? And now we have, like I said, again, I know we need law enforcement, but we don't need an illegal police state where everything's illegal. And if you're on the tip of the spear, they're going to put you on a cross like they did me. And they're still doing to me. So they lost their minds when I did that. Okay, she knows. I was on TV for that. So if you Google Andrew Sheets, you will see this has been a nightmare. I made national news too because when we won the suit with Rutherford, they did a story, and this is why it went national. They said Punta Gorda turned free speech into sedition, which they did. Absolutely. It was unbelievable. I can't do it with a small word. You know everything. So,
I remember that Friday night and that went on with that rally.
I had no idea. Because you know what's crazy?
And Gary was the one that ruined it all.
There you go. That is correct.
He's the one that ruined it for us downtown.
Correct. Well, so what she's talking about, I have a stalker. This guy is a trip. He's supposedly for free speech, but he's not for free speech. It is crazy. I need to mention another thing about the schools too. That he mentioned that these are indoctrination camps, because in our schools, this is what I was telling him. They let the kids protest BLM with BLM. They had 2 huge marches in Punta Gorda. Cops totally supported them. Okay, when the gun grabber thing happened years ago with the the school shooting over there, the police and the schools totally supported them. And then what's the latest one? The abortion stuff. They're letting them do the abortion stuff. Okay, so but if there's one guy out here doing topics they don't like, they will crucify. I'm just one person. One person. And they crucified me, and they're still trying to crucify me today. And that's why I did what I did against the schools. When they were sentencing me, I was in such shock that I lost. I had one of the best lawyers, Lee Hollander from Florida, right down here in Naples. One of the best lawyers. Even he, halfway through the case, he just sat down. He's like, "You're on a train. You're effed. You're done. They're going to find you guilty." Because it was unbelievable. They literally told the jury that I incited the counter-protesters to disturb the peace, so therefore I'm guilty. I'm like, how the fuck does this work? When they were sentencing me, he's like, let's put him in jail. And I'm like, what? I've never done anything here, man. When I was a kid, I was a bad kid. I deserved it. Okay, I was a bad kid. I admit it. Okay, you're not supposed to steal a car stereo. But anyways, that was in the 80s. But anyways, so then the judge says, okay, we won't do that, but we'll fine him. We'll give him probation, and then. This is the part I missed because I was in such shock. The judge said, you cannot protest there, but you can protest anywhere else. Do you understand what the judge just admitted and said in that?
You can't protest on that sidewalk in front of the school.
But you can protest it. He's admitting what I'm doing is legal.
So-and-so don't want to see you doing it here, but you can walk across the street and do it over there.
Yes!
See, this exact thing, when she was in high school at Cape High,
right.
Last year she was in there. She called me to come up there. There was that idiot screaming preacher that's at the beach all the time. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
He was at the school
He
that
harassed
day.
all of us. He'd follow us to
He
McDonald's.
was following these kids. He was taking pictures of her and the other ones. No, you don't have permission to take pictures of my kid inside that fence.
Right.
This was not outside. Well, when I got there, he was still out on the sidewalk yelling and screaming, and I drove right over to the fence inside the parking lot where he was at. Well, here comes a KPD cruiser.
Right.
He drives up. He says, you can't do that out here, because I'm yelling and screaming. I'm standing there recording him on the inside of the fence. I said, okay, officer. I said, I'll be back in just a minute. I left the school. I went around the block, and I parked my car outside on the street.
There you go.
And got out and walked up there on the sidewalk, and I gave him what for right in front of that cop, and he just sat there laughing. He didn't do nothing. He did it because I was on a public sidewalk.
There you go.
Nothing he could do.
Well, Andy, it's been great talking to you about this. In fact, we'd love to have you come back again if you'd like.
That's up to you guys. I mean, sadly, the story, I didn't tell you the part where I sued the judge.
Every month.
We can save that for next time. We only have this
I
room
just
till 1.
Googled your name.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So we only have this room till 1.
All right.
So, but thank you so much for that talk. And I'd like to thank everybody that came today. I do have an announcement.